It's time for Growing Hope, the show determined to grow up hearts open to pursue the extraordinary. Because you are extraordinary! And now, it's your host, Kathryn Lang.
Hello there, and welcome to Growing Hope, where we are investing in building hope that will allow us to step bold into purpose and on purpose. I am Kathryn Lang, and I am here to have fun, make friends, and find ways to be relentlessly helpful because we just need a little more joy and enjoyment in our lives right now. Thank you so much for joining me. Join me over at snarkyrainbows.com for more hope, inspiration. I always dealt with a little bit of twisted encouragement. As we are walking through this understanding of hope, we are to the point now that I really thought it was important to define hope. The world takes off with our words, the words that are in Scripture, the words that hold promise and power, and waters them down. And hope is one of the words that the world has taken off with. So we are in the process of defining hope. And the first point was all about a relationship with God, because hope is fundamentally about a relationship with God. The second point is about how hope is rooted in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We have to know what the word says about hope and understand what that means in our lives and for our lives in order to be able to hold tight to hope and to utilize hope and to wield hope like the weapon that it really is. Words have so easily been challenged, changed, overtaken. The first one I think about is submission. And I've written several times about submission and the power of submission and how it is not about us. It's not about being a doormat. It's not about a lot of the pictures that the world has portrayed when it comes to submission. But submission is a very powerful word because it puts you in alignment with the power of God. And the more I understood submission, the easier it became to be submissive and not timid by any shape, form, or fashion. Nobody who has ever met me has ever said, she's very timid. But I am continuing to hone the ability to be submissive because I've come to understand it. And the same thing is true of hope. We have to come to this place where we truly understand what hope is and what hope means in the Scripture. We often think of hope as this wispy thing that is just kind of out there in the air, in the atmosphere. But hope is very tangible. It is a confidence. It is a understanding. It's an expectation that what is said is going to be. But you can't have an expectation of what is said if you don't know what has been said. And if you don't know what has been said, then you can't understand how it applies in your life. I've heard many times that, especially when it comes to the Old Testament, that the words written there are for a time past. But the word is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And if the word is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, there's something of value in each and every word that has been put down. The key is to get to know those words so much that you see things. If you've ever watched a Marvel movie, Marvel's a really good example of, in real life, watching things over and over again until you see things that you didn't see before. There's a lot of things that are going on in those movies that you won't catch if you just breeze through it one time. If you fast forward through the movie, you're not going to get any of it. The Secret Life of Pets is another one. By the time we'd watched it through the third or fourth time, we were seeing elements of things going on all over the screen, and it was interesting to get to know the movie better. But we don't always do that with words, especially with the Scripture. we'll hear a little bit here, and hear a little bit there, and we'll maybe read a little bit here and a little bit there. But when you sit down and you read through the whole book, like a book, then you begin to see things that you didn't see before. My dad and I have had this conversation that he has read through the Proverbs probably every month of his life for decades. And the other day he came across a word that he had just read over, Ford, F-R-O, as opposed to Ford, F-O-R. And that is a completely different word, but he had been reading it as Ford because that's what his brain did until this day. Because the more you invest in the word, the more you get to know the word. And when you know the word, you will begin to understand how it applies in your life right now. But you have to know it for you. Nobody else can know the word for you. Nobody else can tell you how the word applies in your life. It goes back to that first point, that relationship with God. That personal relationship with God is going to direct you in your journey in the word. So be invested in God, be invested in his word, and put it in your heart by putting it in your eyes and in your ears so consistently that it becomes natural and you begin to see things even around the edge of the screen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Kathryn Lang, and I look forward to connecting with you. Join me over at snarkyrainbows.com, where we are growing hope daily, sharing encouragement and inspiration, and just looking for ways to dare each other to live out our possibilities. You can also find me all over social media. I am Kathryn C. Lang, or on Facebook, I am the Kathryn C. Lang. Until next time, remember, be blessed and be a blessing.
Thank you for joining us for Growing Hope with Kathryn Lang, where we are sharing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to do more. Visit www.kathrynlang.com to invite Kathryn to be part of your event or to share your own stories of possibility living. Until next time, remember that a seed of hope planted and nurtured will grow up into a world of possibilities.